Hi there. Thanks for waiting, Eva. We've forgotten how to use the internet over here. We just make things in our hands. I'm just going to introduce Dongyi really quickly and then turn it over to her. Dongyi Wu was born and raised in China, where she earned her bachelor's degree from the Beijing Institute of Fashion Technology in jewelry design and fashion design and engineering. Dongyi then came to the US to continue her studies, receiving her master's degree from the Rochester Institute of Technology in 2018. Since that time, Dongyi has completed several residencies, most recently at the Southwest School of Art in San Antonio, Texas, where she's been both an artist in residence and an instructor for the past several years. Dongyi has shown work nationally and internationally, such as at JOYA 2020 in Barcelona and Schmuck 2018 in Munich, Germany, and recently presented her solo exhibition at A-Galerii in Tallinn, Estonia. After leaving Baltimore, Dongyi will begin a one-year artist in residency at the Arrowmont School of Arts and Crafts in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's been really wonderful to have Dongyi for the past month and to see the work that she's created. She really is a master with the overlooked or uncommon material. And it's been amazing just to see how she's transformed things that she's found, things that she's picked up, like literally picked up off the street, and imagine them into the ideas that she's developed in her mind. With no further ado, I'll turn it over to her.
Okay, thanks. Well, first, I want to thank you so much for everyone being here for my presentation, both online and offline. I really appreciate. So just like what Xin introduced, and so my name is Dongyi Wu. I have been here for 1 month for my residency program at the Baltimore Jewelry Center. And it has been a wonderful journey here, and I really don't want to say goodbye. Yeah, so for this artist talk, I'm going to talk about my previous works first, and then I'm going to move to my new works finished during my residency program at Baltimore Jewelry Center. Oh, wait. So here is just a map showing my journey. So I'm actually born in the middle area of China, and then my family just moved to the east south area, but in the same time I moved to Beijing to pursue my bachelor degree in jewelry and art. After that, a long trip, I moved to US for my master degree in Rochester, New York, and then I moved to the San Antonio, Texas. So now I'm here in Baltimore. And after that, I'm going to head to the Arrowmont for my 1 year, 11 months residency, in Tennessee. So, well, I'm going to give a quick view of my work following the order of the start years of each project. The earliest work will go first. So 2015 to 2017, that is for my Horizon series. So for the first series of work that I'm going to introduce, that is Horizon, which was finished during my stay in Rochester. So I feel the landscape of Rochester had greatly influenced my creation at that time. It was always an impressive experience when I walked into the snowy landscape to feel the silence and the emptiness that the surroundings delivered to me. And these images were shot in the Rochester Fashion Week 2015. So Horizon series of works focus on the communication among the person, earth, and the sky. And the top part of the piece means the sky, and the bottom part represents the ground. The robot pieces could be considered as expressing the interaction between horizon and people. So when the body is worn by a model, the model's body not only serves as a place for arranging the work, but also is considered as part of the art. And the Horizon 3 was finished in 2017. The robot piece incorporates an element of transformation, which is different from the previous works in this series. So, well, actually, when wearing it, the body jewelry can change it from the white side to black side, just like from the right image, from the left image to right image. through the model's control, which represent the alternating days and nights. So here are some process images. So the steel wires used on the frames were bent and then welded together. And this was the TIG welding. And I was very lucky that her history was soon exposed in several events after it was finished, including the 2017 SNAP conference in New Orleans. And also it won the first finalist ENJOIA'T Contemporary Jewellery Award in Barcelona, and is also exposed on several publications. And from the 2016 to 2017, I worked on 2 new projects called Dream and Continuation Dreams. So some of the works in this section were part of my thesis show. Benefit from the equipment from RRT, I was able to work on some large works, including sculptures and installation. And here are some of them. So like the Dream Sticks, they're made of the copper, and for the connection, they are all like cold rivets together. So it's pretty heavy, it's a lot of works. And so in this series, I focus on dreams and emotions appearing in them. I found that the hidden and forgotten emotions in daytime are revealed in dreams where no barriers are capable of blocking them, which makes emotions in dreams tend to be real and clear. I was interested in intensive, powerful, and genuine emotions and wanted to transform them into visual arts. So here are some of the pieces from my thesis work, and I called it Dream 2, and it was made of newspapers and resin. And yeah, so for this work, it's just made from the young and sterling silver, and it was pretty interesting to put these 2 pieces together because the left side of the piece was a brooch, and the right side was like a sculpture piece. So you can see the combination between my small jewelry pieces and the large sculpture pieces at that time. So the continuous dreams one, that was an important piece for me at that time. So the narrative elements such as the house and the clouds were introduced to my sculptures that were abstract. And I found a way to balance the narrative and the abstract elements in my artwork. It has influence on my next project and access to unknown words, and also the spiral texture created by clay and the wax thread on the sculpture work was continually applied to the Access to Unknown Words series as well. So yeah, so I got a great opportunity to have all my works finished at that time to expand it together in gallery art in Rochester by early 2018. And also it was my first solo show. So here I'm going to talk about the Access to Unknown Words series that started in 2017, and I'm still continuing working on this project. So the concept of the project is a little complicated. It was also related to dreams. So the series expressed the complexity and the contradiction of the emotions in dreamland in a surreal way. I believe we have various images in dreams, and I found the shape of animals are one of the most typical elements built by emotions in our imagination. And when different animals combine together, they can be seen as a symbol of the complexity and the contradiction of our emotions. And for the same reason, I designed the base, maybe it's easier to say, decorated with spiral texture that seems to guide the animals to the dreamland under the unknown power. So here is, let me go back. Here is the necklace created in 2017. And I would like to share a little more about the process of the material explorations. So actually at the very beginning, I used the concrete as the material for its base, but then I found it was wasn't a very good choice because it made my necklace very heavy, and this was not what I want. So I replaced the section made by concrete with sterling silver in my next work, Access to Onwards 2. So if you see the side, you still can see the silver bezel on the side of the brooch. And it was very lucky again. So Access to Onwards 2 was selected into the Schmuck 2018 in Munich, Germany. And it was really encouraging me on working on more pieces in this series. So maybe like after 2 years, I had some extra time to think about the more possibilities for this series during the COVID time. So I actually doubted it was necessary to have something like bezels to secure my pieces in there, like this piece. So I wanted more interaction among these overall spaces on my pieces, but not interrupted by the bezels. So I had this new pieces created in 2020. So what I did was to have this let me see, this steel meshes woven by copper wires and then covered by clay and wax thread. So I actually created lots of the large necklaces during that time. Yeah, so it's a pretty large necklace. Yes. And these new pieces have also exposed in several exhibitions and events. And here's a short video, and I hope it can play. Yeah, it's a very short video. So this is some smaller brooch I created for this series, and I just want to make them more wearable, and it's like good to sell in the gallery. So that's the purpose. So this is the back of the brooch. And also I'm kind of update the material too. So now the brooches are super light, and I would say it's daily wearable. So from 2019, I started a new project I call It's Tired. So actually I have shown 2 collections of my works inspired by dream, but I'm not just limited to expression of dreaming images. I also pay attention to small things in daily lives. So here's my Tired series. So the inspiration for this series is pretty fun. It comes from a small and interesting moment in my life, a tired afternoon. When I took my pen and the sketchbook to figure out what to do next, I was very sleepy. I felt my eyes and eyelashes become so heavy and almost falling off from my eyes. So to picture that feeling, the spherical eyes are transformed into the cylindrical shape by the influence of the gravity pressure. So this is the biggest piece I have in entire series. The series work was mainly made by gloves, fabric, rubber, sterling silver, and also aluminum cans. By using the gloves and the fabric on the artworks, I want to express the warm feeling that always comes with the tiredness. Let me see, this may be clear, this is detail. This may be clear. The eyelashes were formed with light and flexible aluminum cans, which can express the eyelashes texture while creating the contrast with the softer materials on the main body of the works. So this is a brooch, so like the co-connections, sawing and soldering were the techniques I used on this project. Also, like the Tired and the Access to Onwards series won the Preziosa Young 2020 in Italy. The prize awarded the winners was a traveling show in Europe. And these 2 images show the one of the exhibition in Florence. Also, the Tired series was included in my solo show Daily Notes in San Antonio, Texas in 2019. I'm sorry about I have too much work. So yeah, for the 2020, I started a new project called No Longer Human. So most of the pieces in this collection were made for another solo show of mine in Finland. I got the inspiration from a famous Japanese novel, No Longer Human. So well, at least it's pretty famous in Asian area. So No Longer Human is told in a form of notebook left by Oba youths. The story narrated the miserable and despairing life stories of Oba from his early childhood to his late 20s. But I found his sensitive, pure, and wise soul that was hidden by his struggling and despairing statement. I imaged his soul as a fresh salmon strip, but was abandoned at a corner. Many people passed by, but no one was trying to pay attention to it. Through this project, I hope to remind us of the things abandoned by us might be pure and precious. And I designed three imaginary scenes that the salmon strip was dropped. First was the strip view with the construction trash and the cardboards. And here's the brooch I created in 2020. So many materials were involved in this works, including copper, acrylic sheets, and this is a bag, cardboards, plastic toys, and sterling silver. I went to different places to collect the materials, includes the different like thrift store. And this is the necklace. And the second one was the beach view. I imaged the salmon strip was abandoned on the beach, just like the branches. And many people walks by, but no one is trying to pay attention to it. So this is actually the first piece I made in 2017. And I want to talk a little more about this brooch series. So they imply the whole time passed on the beach through the movement of the tide shown in the pictures. For the same reason, the toys that might be left by kids were also changed as the time went by. But the salmon strip was still there and no one would like to pick it up. So that's what's the concept. So here is just small details about like the front and the pin back. And here is a big necklace I have. It's also the same concept. So the third view was the garden. So the main materials I use this piece are on artificial grass, paper, photo, rock, copper, and sterling silver. And like this one, the techniques like soldering, code connections, paper relief carving, and sewing were applied. So yeah. And this actually was my favorite piece in this collection. And then here are the gallery view for my solo shows with this collection in Finland 2020. And the No Longer Human series have also been included in other shows like JOYA 2020 and Voltage, the Power of Contemporary Jewelry in New York Jewelry Week 2021. So it's almost like reached the end of my presentation. So now I want to give you a quick view of my project, Passerby and the Keyring. So compare the art jewelry pieces I have shared, Passerby and the Keyring tended to be more commercial, I would like to say that. So Passerby and the Keyring series aim to capture the moments I observe people who work next to me on street or people that pictured in photos inside fashion magazines. I focus on the impression on street and transform these quick images in jewelry pieces that can be worn. So this is the first piece I made in 2017. And so that was actually the images was come from like a senior lady, and she wearing a heavy green coat and also like a big hat, but she worked like very fast, not like the regular senior lady. So I just kind of want to picture her images and kind of like recorded the images with my work. Also, like possible, this is the possible file, and this inspiration was coming from a young man who wearing like a music suit and a fluffy hat, also like a big sneakers. So I'm kind of also transfer his images into the jewelry pieces. So maybe you have seen this series before at Baltimore Jewelry Center. Yeah, so here's more. So, well, Passerby 5 awarded the LEAP finalists at the Contemporary Craft in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, it has exposed to different galleries and places. And here is at the A-Galerii, Estonia in 2021. Also, it has some collaboration with other fashion magazines. So I also have some like a large necklaces for this series. And also for today, I'm wearing my earrings. It's also like my keyring earrings. This one is the Passerby 2. It's pretty new. We just finished it by the early of this year. So it has different stories. The Passerby 2 comes from a backstage photo inside a fashion magazine, and the combination of the model's dramatic makeup and the formal garments has interested me a lot. So for the, I'm not sure if you can see, but the pink part, the white part with a little pink dots, that's the construction of that piece was coming from the ear of the model. And for the other fabric part was coming from his garments. And also for this two like rings, that was actually his earrings. So that's where the elements coming from. Okay, so that is the new project I'm going to introduce today, because this is like a new project I have been working here at the Baltimore Jewelry Center. So I'm not sure if we're going to move to that part to talk about my new project, but I just want to go really quick because to talk about this project. So this project is trying to explore the relationship between nature and human. So let me see how to go that shorter. So the idea of this project come to me when I visited a national park with my friend. The natural environment brought me a feeling of silence, peace, and the power that embraced everything harmoniously. So the grass, rocks, and even the remains left by human activities looked like the decorative items attached to the endless ground. As a jeweler, I would like to describe them as a brooch of lines. So I hope these brooches can play as a role, as a medium to explore the connection between human and nature. So when wearing the artworks, audience would feel the connectivity with nature emotionally, even inclusion of nature in themselves. So here's the concept. So I leave like both images like daytime and nighttime, because I put this image here because my new was kind of related to these images. So like I'm started this new project by the earliest of this year. So before I'm here, I also have this small brooches that I call like settlement. So there's all the stones I arranged on these brooches were coming from a park. Sorry, I just really can't remember like where it was, but it just kind of like playing with the natural stuff. So shall we just move to the new pieces there? Like
Shannon's gonna do her job.
And thank you so much for hearing like the long presentation.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, like just like when I talked, the language is a big project to further focus on my concept. In terms of my BJC project, I focused on this night view scene. So when driving in the middle of nowhere with no streets light, at night, I feel like I was submerged in darkness with multiple layers created by mountains, ground, sky, and the pure moon. The world became so quiet, and it also brought a sense of anxious and anxiety and nervousness. The highlights of my vehicle were the only this. I explored and communicated with the dark world carefully by using the highlights, which also decorated the dark world. So, so here is the like for the brooches. So the golden lines I saw here that represent the headlights. So the other part, like the fabric, that means the grass, and for all the other alternative materials that represent all the artificial things. So they are all kind of covered by dark and no sections. So
like a Lego in there.
yes, Legos, yeah. And so the material is something like the fabric, Legos, and the binders, I guess. Yeah. And also the antique jewelry, the antique necklace. It's all good.
I really love the simplicity of the connection, that just the loop of the ribbon is what
Thank you. Yeah,
connects it.
it makes it like visually float.
Yeah. And the fibula is really nice too.
It's more like the alternative materials involved.
Guys, I'm gonna bring out the natural element. Oh, I don't think I saw this.
Yeah, it's like a frame. So for the fabric, I kind of doing it like a organic sheet. So if I saw them together, I just like drawing like different curves. So that also represent the multiple layers that coming from the mountains and the rivers. So that's the reason why it has all these curves and curve lines on the base. Makes sense.
It does, and it's just like that there's the ideas from your experience are portrayed in the work, but not in a super literal way. So I think that it can be interpreted in multiple ways, but then to hear the story behind it, it just kind of adds so many layers of depth to it.
And also I put this poems here as So I like so sometimes my initial ideas was recorded by my poems. So I like to just wrote them in my native language, and then also I translate in English. So yeah, so it's kind of like these poems have me kind of like direct the piece.
Cool.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about the loops that you felt on these pieces.
Mhm.
Do they represent anything? Like what is their role in the piece?
Yeah, so they like the grasses.
Ah.
Yeah, so well, actually I kind of spent a week to explore the forms of the grasses. So I finally chose this form. The first thing is because it's very simple to work with, because it's gonna be a big piece. And also like I'm actually don't want, like for the regular grass, it's just like a line, but I want them to have a curve. So because from my memory, I remember the grass I saw at that night was like a wave. So that's the reason I got all this like a circle, so it can create some like the movement and curve.
And then it's nice because they can hold on to the
Yeah,
thing.
function.
And yeah, it's also just cool to see like some are smooth and some are kind of like velvety. It's really cool to like have seen or to have had conversations with you and see your early sketches and hear you describe the work and then watch it come to fruition. I mean, every artist works differently, but you just have such a strong like visual like sense of like, this is what I want to make. Like I can see it in my mind. And then the way that you relate to objects that you find, both that you go out looking for them, but then you take things and modify it to kind of match that picture in your mind.
Yeah, this is what definitely what I work with.
And I know like you didn't get to work on the bathhouse project, but I'm hope that you will at Arrowmont because I would like to see that. Memories of like going to like a public bathhouse from our childhood, like it will just be really cool to see.
Oh, yes. I just like,
Well, just fine. What is this?
It's just fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder what its
There's,
original.
two different kinds of fabric. So one feels like a rubber, that's just fabric.
Yeah.
And then since another fabric is just come with the lines.
Cool.
Oh, where'd you get the fabric from?
JOYA.
Huh. I've never seen anything quite like that. Oh wow, I didn't notice that one. Nicely hidden in there.
I can't help but think of like Louise Nevelson. Like right, is that who I'm thinking of? She did like monochromatic, like low relief wood pieces, like different, they're usually black, but I think she did some other colors. But they're like flat against like wooden objects, all painted the same color against like in like a frame. And you get this like, it's like playing I Spy. You look at them and there's like all of this like texture and form. Well, there's not so much texture because it's all flat, it's the same color. They're all painted the same, but there's all these different forms and you start to like pick out things that you recognize. And of course she's working from like it's abstraction, so there's some of the same things going on, but different materials. But it's interesting. I think of I see like the clothespin. I think of her. I feel like she used those.
Oh, yeah.
Louise Nevelson.
Oh, okay.
I'll look that up.
Google her.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I guess I know what you're talking about.
She's like a modernist painter and sculptor.
So like with objects that you have that are like recognizable, I'm curious about like one, how you find them and how you decide to like what if their context has a role in your work. Like let's say like this piece here, which is this spool, like which I recognize, like does it mean that it's a spool or does it lose its meaning once it gets made to your work?
Oh, it does make sense.
The second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering about.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Also, maybe I maybe just give them some rules, but I want the audience to think of it differently.
Yeah,
I
got
want
it.
it to be abstract, so
Okay.
you can kind of like have your own understanding.
Yeah, but you didn't choose.
Yeah,
it or
But
anything.
I do want them to, and this looks like some kind of bigger stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Okay.
just
I really enjoy the intimacy that this work like demands of you because there's so much going on that you have to get really close to like the different textures and the different relationships. And then there's also the layer of intimacy in like this silence in the moment and the darkness that you were feeling of that inspired object. So I really like the layering there.
And even the fact that it's black, I think, just right, because it's like our eyes don't differentiate. And the same way that color, or at least mine don't. The shadows are nice too,
I was
especially knowing the origin of the idea. It's cool to see the shadows.
I also like the variety of like reflectiveness that comes with like using all these different
Yeah,
materials.
yeah.
that it sounds like you were thinking a lot about that when you were describing pieces.
The one.
How reflective, like like what pieces in here, what materials collect light and which ones like give us, like shouts light back at us. I feel like you were thinking a lot about that.
It would be a completely different piece if all the materials
It
were
was
the
like the
same.
same, like flatness or the same, like it's like shiny,
There's, like, some
yeah.
variation and like, even though they're like all a similar tone of black, they have different, like one's glossy, one's matte, one's
Yeah.
has like a different texture to it.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Also, I think sometimes like found work, or like work that incorporates a lot of found objects can be really noisy, you know, or really discordant, I guess, maybe. And this really isn't. It's like
I
be
think part of that
seamless.
comes down to like the color selection, because it's hard to find like blacks that match each other.
Yeah.
And so that was like something that's, I think, brings high quality to the piece for sure.
From this conversation.
Yeah.
You should be very proud.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I'm excited to see what you do with. It's 11 months at Arrowmont.
Yes.
So cool. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Finish that, the chair
Yeah.
and the bus. The topic.
Oh, I really want
You'll have
Yeah.
more time. And then we'll have to just have a Zoom session where you share with us. Well, I'm gonna stop recording. Good job.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Dongyi.